Coach Nash Show, featuring Coach Nick Nash and Alan Earl.
Okay, welcome to the first ever Coach Nash Show, featuring, of course, Nick Nash and myself, Alan Earl. Okay, Coach, going into the Cosby game, first game this year, you had a great opponent. What did you expect going into that game?
I knew that, I knew there would be a lot of, nervousness from our kids, a lot of anxious feelings from our kids. We knew going into this game that Cosby was, this was one of the better teams that they've had in many years. Hats off to them. Hats off to their coaching staff. We come into the game, obviously very positive, as we will go into every game, very positive. As we got into the game, we had a great fan base here. I love our fans right now. I love the support that they're giving our kids. It was a great atmosphere that first game. We come into the game, optimistic. Obviously, you've got to go into every game, being thinking that knowing that you're going to win. We had first series. Our starting quarterback got hurt. Which we had rotated some quarterbacks around and some stuff like that. We had some injuries there that kind of threw us off kilter a little bit. And I thought, yes, even though we got beat by 30. After the game, I set the kids down, in the end zone out here, and I explained to them, they was 5 plays that they scored those 30 points on. As a whole defensively, I thought we played really well. We had them at one point, we had them at 4th and 18, and we give up a score. We're still learning the kids. The kids are still learning us. In each and every game, we're going to get better, coaching staff wise and player wise.
Okay, what did the team as a whole learn coming out of that game?
One thing I think they learned is, you can't underestimate your opponent, and you can't go into a game with the thought of we've got to go into the game with utmost confidence. And I think sometimes, our boys at this point in our journey, that I'll call it, listen, these kids have had to adapt to a whole new coaching staff. They've had to adapt to a whole new offense, a whole new defense. We want to say that we're young. And yes, even though that's true, but we don't like to use that as an excuse. We come out of that game learning that, hey, we can play ball when we want to play ball. When we do our assignments, we can compete. We've got a long way to go, but our attitude is really good. Our practice numbers have not let up. Our guys are coming to practice and working hard every day.
Okay, what did you learn that they did well that day, and what do they need to fix coming out of that game?
Yeah, coming out of that game, we had some issues. We had some issues on both sides of the football. I actually had issues in special teams as well. I think that they learned a couple things. One being that you can't take plays off. And I felt like there was several times on the offense and defensive side, and like I said, even special teams, they took plays off. And when we are not aligned right, and when we are not, doing those things, it shows up. So they learned a valuable lesson in the game of football when it comes to, hey, I can't take a play off. If I'm tired, make sure that I get to a coach and say, hey, give me 3 plays instead of taking a play off. Take the play off on the sideline. Don't take it off on the field.
Okay, you kind of under the gun a little bit when it comes to injuries. When you went up against Thomas Walker, you probably had this one circled as a possible win. Well, I mean, a lot of the community thought that this win might come here, but you come in and you're missing your quarterback, and you had to change everything, like we talked earlier. What did you like their play during the Thomas Walker game? And
so, yes and no. First half we come out, and didn't play really well. We give up. I think it was the second play we give up an H-pop that scored for a touchdown. We was missing some blocking assignments and things of that nature. First half was a little bit rough. Now hats off to Thomas Walker. They was a good football team. And we didn't go into this game necessarily thinking that that it was just a pushover. I did feel like that we had the athletes to compete with Thomas Walker.
Yes.
But there was some crucial mistakes that we made as a team and as a coaching staff that in the future that will be fixed. Now, let's talk about the second half. The second half we come out, and I really felt like we played with a lot more grit, a lot more emotion, a lot more of who we want to be as a football team.
Yeah, that's good.
And we strive for that every day. And even after the Thomas Walker loss, I do want to mention this. We had a fan base at Thomas Walker. Our community, the stands were full on the visitor side. The stands were absolutely full. I can't stress how much that means to our kids. I can't stress how much that means to the coaching staff and the program as a whole. Those parents and supporters, I mean, they filled the stands. And we made mistakes again. But one thing that I will say. We come back to practice the very next week. We come back to practice on Tuesday, and we probably had the best practice that we have had all year long.
That's good.
So
yes.
That showed me character of the boys. That showed me, character of my coaching staff. My coaching staff is great. They work hard. We're constantly on the phone. We're constantly, game planning. They are doing everything they can to make this team better. And so hats off to the coaching staff, and hats off to the boys, man. You lose 2 games in a row by 30. As a young football team, that's hard to bounce back from. That's hard to go to practice.
Yeah.
But we had no fall off.
Okay, that's what I was kind of wanting to touch on. What's the demeanor of this team coming into this South Green game?
The demeanor of the team right now is great. They know that South Green's a very good football program. It's a well-established football program. They're not having to deal with a new coaching staff, and it's a very well-established program. The coach has been there for a long time, and they're a great football team. We know that going in. But one thing that that me and my staff has really push the kids to is, hey, we're going to be us, okay? And when I say us, we're still figuring out who we are. We're still figuring out who we want to be. And I've told them from day one, you've got to change the culture before you change the scoreboard. So that's exactly the direction we're heading.
Okay, South Green, offensively, what do they do that your defense will have to step up and stop?
Oh, well, their running game is unbelievable. They've got a kid that he's a junior. He's number 3. I think his name is Nash. He's an excellent football player. Their offensive line is big. They're wanting to run the ball. They played a very good Davy Crockett team last week, and and give them a very good game. They're wanting to run the ball, and us as a defensive unit, we've got our defensive line. Our defensive line has got to step up. And it starts in the box. It starts between the tackles. We've got an inside linebacker that is going to be out. Our starting Mike linebacker is going to be out this Friday night. So we're going to have a kid, a couple kids step up, and they're a good football team. But hey, we're not going into this game defeated. I tell them all the time, hey, positivity, positivity, positivity. This is where we've got to go from here. So.
Okay, offensively, does your scheme match up well with their defense? Do you think there's something there to exploit?
Yeah, our strength of our offense, even though it may not look like it right now, but the strength of our offense is going to be our offensive line. We've got one senior on our offensive line. The rest of them are sophomores. And I'm going to stick to the same thing, that we're going to try to get speed and space. Obviously we have struggled with that a little bit the last two games, but we still have that mindset. Coach Lee, as the offensive coordinator, he's doing a great job. Van Medley, he's our offensive line coach. He's doing a great job. It's gonna come together. So we're eager to play tomorrow night, and we're eager to get better. And that's exactly what me and my staff pushes our kids for.
Okay, what do you want to say to your fans? Well, you spoke about them already tremendously, and well deserved. But what do you personally would like to say to Panther Nation?
I have been, actually, to be honest with you, I have been overwhelmed with the support that this community has come out and give these kids. I love these kids. I love this team. I've told them from day one, hey guys, I love everything. I love this program. We're moving in the right direction. And the fans, parents, administration of this program, the staff, it has been really, really unbelievable how much support that our kids has got from this community.
That's great. Does the program have any needs monetarily? And how can businessmen and women in the community reach out to you and to help you with those needs?
You ask a coach that, and the answer is always yes, right? I have a booster club. My booster club has been really great this year, and I know the community knows that we have had to buy an excessive amount of equipment this year. Local businesses have been great to us. Only thing I would say is, just continue to help, businesses and parents, and continue the fundraising, because we do need a 5-man sled. We do need tackling dummies. We do need field equipment. We do need all those things. But first we need the support of the kids. And then once the support of the kids come, then we can get into the financial side of it.
Okay, let's talk about just some final words on the game coming in tomorrow, and anything you want to add.
Yeah, I want to let everybody that's associated with Cumberland Gap football know that your kids are working hard. Your coaching staff is working hard. Your administration is working hard. the administration has been so great to just say anything that you need, just know that every gear in this program is turning, and it's turning in a good way. We're moving in the right direction.
All right, one last thing. Mr. Klein has been going through some health issues over here in the zone, as well as the community would like to wish him the best.
Absolutely. I talk to him on a regular basis. He's been one of my mentors since I was a kid. I call and check on him all the time. I always tell him he's my football hero. When I was a freshman in high school, he had to take me home every day when I was a freshman, and he never failed to take me home and make sure I was at practice. He's a good, godly man. He's a man of faith. I've had the privilege of going to church with him for many years. He is a great man, and I love him a lot.
All right. Good luck tomorrow, and thanks for joining me.
Thanks for watching. We will see you later. God bless.
Subscribe and comment below, guys.